Hi all, I'm Dan Smig-Rod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. Today is Friday, August 16th, 2019, and you're watching WGAN TV live at 5. All this week, we've been doing a theme week, captured training for Matterport service providers. And our guest, hey, Stephen, good to see you once again. And our guest, Stephen Kunis. Stephen is the co-founder and chief operating officer for Foria. Foria is the parent company for Captured. Hey, Stephen, what do you got planned for us today?
It's been a great week this week, and I'm really looking forward to today. So we've had everything before us that leads up to today, which is all about analytics. So it's all about data. It's all about how we're tracking it. It's all how we can use the information to help our customers, help gain new customers, and also get insights into how our tours are performing out there on the World Wide Web.
Cool. And you have a couple other things you're going to cover for us today too.
Yes, we're also going to be doing a live run through from start to finish. You mentioned yesterday that we've been taking our time going through these things, but to actually create anything on the platform is actually quite easy and quick. So we're actually going to show you in real time how easy it is to create a virtual tour and a one-page website at the end. And then we're going to go through pricing at the end as well. So just going through all the individual parts. We've spoken about it sporadically throughout the week, but just going through it in detail, and we can just iron out any information that you would require as well.
Great. So that's the program for today for Captured, which is really a all-in-one content management system, a virtual assistant, a magical platform. It's a must-have platform. Been looking forward to doing this with you, really, and spending the time all week because Captured really is an essential platform that every Matterporter, every Matterport service provider, anyone using Matterport should be using for all the reasons we've been talking about this week. And today you're going to fill us in on captured analytics for Matterport virtual tours. Absolutely.
Shall we dive in? Let's do it. So I'm just going to share my screen here. Give me a quick moment. So as we can see here, we've got the captured dashboard. I'm hoping this is becoming more and more familiar as we are on day 5 by now. What we're going to start with is the dashboard analytics. So that's an overview of all of the analytics that are being stored within the system itself on your account. So as you can see here on the third one down, we've got the analytics tab on the left-hand side here. So clicking on that will open up the analytics dashboard, and it loads in all the information. I'll start talking about what we've got up here. So as standard, we look at the past month. So we're only looking back a month. If we wanted to go back further, we can go back as far as we would like, or if we'd just like to look at the past week, we can also do that as well in the date range. Because we are looking at an overview of analytics, we can break this down into client information. So if I just wanted to see how Greenpeace, for in this instance, was traveling, I could bring in their information alone. Or if I did have a broader network of technicians across different countries or different states, I could even see how different performing areas are going. So what you're looking at here is different Australian states and also a couple US ones, because we've done some work over there, and New Zealand and a few other things as well, California. So as we go down here, the first graph that we're seeing is daily usage. So we're looking at 1 month worth of data here, and each one of these numbers shows the amount of viewers that are viewing any 3D tour on our platform on any given day. You can see that these are pretty large numbers. So we've got 14,500 here on the, when was that? 29th of July, so not too long ago. And all the way through. So it's just giving you a nice idea of how your properties are performing. And what this usually shows is a lot of cyclical activities. So especially with real estate in Australia, at least, Wednesday seems to be the hype of activity, and then running into the weekend as well. And then we have a little bit of a resting period between Monday and Tuesday, which we're kind of seeing in these peaks and troughs that you're looking at there. As we go further down, we're diving deeper into the analytics here. So it's not just about how many views we're getting, but it's how many users and how long they're spending in there. So the first graph we've got here on the left-hand side is the total views. So it's a pie graph of what we're looking up over there. So you can see for the past month, there was 269,000 views across the 3D tours that we've got live. And the really interesting part here is we're actually broken it down into the top 3 areas in which they've been reviewed from. So we're obviously putting these 3D tours in people's websites, property portals, or even on your forum, Dan. And you'll see here that we've got Epicure homes. So this is like a lottery home sort of system there. And you can see a lot of the views are actually coming from them. And this one over here is another one of those. It's Matter Lotteries. And this should just be the other, so the House Rules. So it's a TV show here in Australia. What we've found really good for real estate agents is that it actually breaks up the analytics from the different property portals that they're listing their 3D tours on. And so you can see where your marketing spend's going based on how many views you're getting from each platform. So the total users is the next one across here on the left. So the key difference here, and for those people that might not know too much about analytics, so total views is the number of times anyone comes and looks at that 3D tour. Total users is how many times a unique person comes to view that tour. So it's a really good sign when you've got 3 to 4 more times views than users, because what's that saying is that a single user is coming back multiple times to the same virtual tour to investigate and look into it, which means there's quite a lot of interest in that virtual tour. So it's actually quite a nice sign when you have a split like we're looking at here to here. And again, we've got the same breakdown so we can understand where the majority of these views are coming from. So you can see, although a lot of the views are coming from Epicure, more of the users are coming from the Matter Lotteries in this instance. So just diving in a little bit more deeper into that information, which we find really useful. And the last part is the average time. So it's taking an average time of all of these users and all of these views and seeing how long people are actually spending in a tour. We did some research excuse me, with Australia's largest real estate portal here in Australia. We wanted to test how long people are spending in the virtual tour against how long they actually spend at a physical open house. And so what we found out was that a standard open house, people would spend anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes. In a virtual tour, they were spending anywhere between 3.5 to 4.5 minutes. So we had this really interesting point where we could find that people that are spending almost the same amount of time in a virtual tour as they would in a physical tour at the site. So it was a really good data point that we did and a really good test that we're working on there. And again, that breakdown is also there. As we scroll down a little bit further here, we've got the top performing properties for the date range that we've put in at the top there. So as you can see here, we've got the property name, the client, the state, and just a quick snapshot of their views. If we wanted to jump into deeper analytics, we could click into that. But before I go into the individual property analytics, Dan, did you have any questions about what I've just discussed or shown there?
This is awesome. You're right on point. Totally amazing.
Perfect. So what I'm going to quickly show you is the demo property that we've been using all week, just so we have some context to what I'm showing you, is this 297 Napier Street property. So I can easily click on this and it's going to take me to the property page. And again, I'm hoping this is becoming more and more familiar for the users and viewers out there. So this is the page where all of the content is stored for all of your properties. We've got the property information on the left-hand side here, and then all of the content on the right-hand side. So the virtual tour, the floor plan, the one-page website, the photos, and also any videos as well. So this is the standard page for every property. The analytics is the tab right next to it. So if we click on the analytics, we're going to dive into a very similar page to what I just showed you for the dashboard, but just on a single property. So this tour itself is actually the example tour that is on the front of our website. So sometimes the information can be sometimes skewed. And I believe it's also been linked into the We Get Around network, because I was having a look at the metrics here before, and you seem to be one of the key performers at the moment here, Dan. Let me just load this in. So what you're seeing is the same process. So we've tried to keep it very similar, whether it's the dashboard or the individual property. So there is a lot of symmetries, I guess, around what it is that you're looking at. So you're not learning multiple different assets of the analytic process, and trying to make it as simple as possible for you to share as well with your clients. So we've got the same graph here at the top. We'll just load those in underneath here. So these are going to be those graphs. I might just quickly refresh that. My internet hasn't been the best here this morning. Those of you who don't know, Australia has horrible internet and it intermittently breaks. I'll let that one go through. There we go. So the same graphs that we're looking at on that dashboard, but this is now just for an individual property. So this is really a nice way to share this information with your vendor or the owner of the company, the owner of the property or the realtor that you're working with. There's similar breakdown here, so you can see where all of your views are coming from. So we've got the forum link that's been linked into that. We've got a direct link, which means it's just being sent in emails or EDMs and people are viewing that and the captured. So that's the front of our website. And then the breakdown with total users and average time, as we can see here. And you can kind of get a good breakdown that people are using it more on certain platforms than others. As I dive a little bit deeper, what we don't have on the dashboard, but we've got a lot more information being tracked in the individual property, are these two features here. So I'll start on the right-hand side because this is something that we've had a bit of overview on in the first couple of days of this tutorial this week, which is the contact buttons on the virtual tour and the one-page website. So it's the call and email buttons. So we're tracking how many times these buttons have actually been clicked, and also how many emails have been sent from that. So how many leads are being generated. After we go through this, I will also show you how these leads are stored and you can utilize that information, but it is just a nice little quick snapshot that you can send to your customers as well. And then on the left-hand side here, this is something that we're really excited about. So this was our second SDK, Matterport SDK feature that we developed. So the first one being the measurement tool, which we showed, which is available on the virtual tour overlay. This one was our second. So it's diving a little bit deeper into how users actually move throughout the property in itself. So I'll show you how this works in a really simple way. So there's a button down here that says recalculate. You only have to do this once, but I'll show you how it's done. So what's happening here is we're actually grabbing the Matterport imagery. So the floor plan, if it's multiple floors, it will take multiple images. And then what we're doing is overlaying the data that we understand from each individual scan point or sweep, and how many times users are landing on that point and how long they're spending on it. And then we're visually showing that information in this graph here that you can see. So the red dots, so in this case, 1 dot, means there's close to 100% of people that are going into the tour are standing on this sweep point. So usually this is the start location, and you can tell where the start location is by that color. And as we go down into yellow, that's approximately 80%, 60%, 40%, and less than 20% of people moving through the space. So with that information, that you can see that everyone's starting on this red dot and then slowly moving through the property, going into different directions. If you remember from the tour itself, the kitchen was just here, and then you could look outside into the courtyard out there. But if you're looking at this from a realtor's point of view, you could tell, okay, well, no one's really ending up down this side of the property or ending up in this man cave that we've got down here. Maybe it might be worth starting the tour at this end so they get to where they want to go over here. So it's helping provide a little bit more information around how you can utilize the information in front of you. Obviously, this data is skewed a little bit here because we've been playing around in this property all week, but it does give you a really good snapshot of how someone's moving through the property. So that's the property dashboard of analytics. And the last part here at the bottom, it just shows where your total views are coming from a referrer. So this is more of a technical side of things. So you can see what the previous page that the user was on before they came to the virtual tour that they're on here. And again, because it is one of our demo properties, you've got a bit of our app dev, but we've got the forum members, the captured property side, and it'll just show where they've been and how they're getting there.
Thanks to our viewers for actually taking a look at the demo that we're looking at. And so we can actually see that in the statistics and actually know which We Get Around Network forum discussion posts they're coming from.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So I suppose this is an atypical model because it is a demo, but that might have been coming from Facebook or Twitter or from a paid ad, et cetera. And so how might the real estate agent use that report you were just showing us either with their client or in their marketing or both?
Yeah, so one of the key outcomes that I've seen from you providing this information to realtors is actually where they spend their marketing. So in a lot of cases, they would spend evenly across different platforms or different social targeting campaigns, thinking that everything's kind of providing roughly about the same amount of engagement for them. But when you can show them that there's a key difference, and in Australia, there's pretty much two competing portals, and one portal claims that they get twice as many views as the other portal. When we could clearly show that for the realtors, it actually really changed their mindset around how they're spending on both of these portals, but then also how their own website compared with both of those. They always undervalued what their website was actually providing them. We could show that the engagement level was much higher on their own website, because when people are coming there to view their properties, they're really there to actually look and dive deeper into it. So it's a lot about marketing spend. It's all about information. And in the era of data that we're sitting in, this information can be used widely, and things we'll probably not even have thought of right now, but the key part for us would be the marketing spend.
Okay, so is there any additional data?
We are tracking some information, and we are always building this out, but we have tried to keep it as simple as possible. Some of the additional data that isn't being shown on this front end right now are things like either they come from a mobile device, tablet device, or desktop. And also the geographic location. So
is that information presently available, or that's information you're tracking and may include in a future captured?
Yes, so we use Google Analytics as our backbone for tracking all of this data. And so we're looking at how we can bring in this information relatively easily to use and to understand, but without providing too much to kind of be bombarded with and trying to absorb. So we're just slowly bringing it out. So over the next few months, you're going to see a number of different updates to this as well.
If you could scroll down, Stephen, just to any one of those, even maybe one of the forum links that you were showing. Yep. Maybe just a click. I'm presuming that's a hyperlink. You could click on that and we could actually see.
Yeah,
so I can copy and paste the link and then actually go to that page. So, and I see Google on your screen. It may be that you're not sharing that particular, yep, there it is. So we can actually scroll down on this We Get Around Network page and see that's the house. And that's where that traffic is coming from this particular post on the We Get Around Network forum. So if you're watching us on our YouTube channel, check us out, WeGetAroundNetworkForum.com, or in shorthand, WGAN Forum.com. And you can see this particular example on this particular post.
Absolutely.
Look at that. You closed it. That was the promotion for this week. Okay, great. Thanks for showing us that. I think that was really helpful, because I could also imagine that either the photographer, the real estate agent, the homeowner goes, gee, I didn't even know that we ended up on that link. So exactly. That's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
And so now you can actually find out what's on that page. Maybe a media outlet picked it up and is running it.
Absolutely. So to kind of put a bow on analytics, the last little part is it's very good to have it here in the dashboard, but obviously we want to share this with our customers. So you can see at the top here, there's a green button that says reports. Mm-hmm. So by clicking on this, it opens up the various different scheduled reports that we've got available here. So I'm just going to create a new report. So you can create as many of these as you'd like. And what I'm doing here is it's actually scheduling an automated email to whoever it is that I would like to have in that list. So it's one of those things, again, that it's hands off from the photographer or MSP, not another thing that you have to add to your list of weekly tasks to do. This automatically does it in the background, and it also keeps you front of mind with your realtor. You don't have to send that email, but they're going to be getting emails from you all about how well the property's been performing. So let's, for instance, say I'm going to send an email to myself.
Yep.
There we go. So this could be the realtor, the vendor, even the technician. Let's say they're interested in seeing how that property was performing. There might be multiple people in the office. You can have as many emails in this thread as you like, or as few as well. And I can then set on the right-hand side here how frequently I would like these emails to be sent. So our standard is
How about
usually,
adding me to that list of recipients? I'd love to get that one. So let's put in my full email address, Dan Smigrod, Smigrod at We Get Around Network. We Get Around.
oh no,
We get. Nope.
we got there.
Get Around Network.com.
Beautiful.
Okay.
All right, Dan. And how frequently would you like to receive these reports?
Once a week.
Once a week. Beautiful. So it was already preset, but you can select day, week, or month. So you can send them monthly, weekly, or on the rare occasion, if you wanted to bombard someone every day with an analytics report, you could do that as well. So we're going once a week. Is there any particular day on the week that you would like to
Friday
receive?
would be great.
On Friday. So we just select the Friday on this case here. Sorry. On Friday. And when would you like it to end?
On September 15th.
On September 15th.
Actually, I'm really curious on this one. Let's just put it in as December 31st.
December 31st. Let me scroll down here. December 31st.
Okay.
Before I press save, I'll just talk through a couple of things there that we jumped over. So I can choose the day of the week or multiple days of the week here as well. I can have this ongoing forever. For whatever reason, we could have that never ending. We've chosen a specific date to end that on, but we could also end it after X amount of emails being sent as well. So it's completely customizable. We understand that people like to provide information in their own unique ways. So we've just tried to make this as customizable as possible. This is a fairly new feature for us, but we're really excited to have it on. So just to confirm here, we've got myself and Dan being the recipients of these emails. We're going to be receiving it every week on Friday until the 31st of December.
Terrific. I
So
look forward to getting the report.
And there we go. I'll scroll down so you can see here the scheduled payment. So Dan's going to be receiving and I'll go back to the property page, a form, a report, sorry, combining the previous week or month's worth of information, just like this. Beautiful. So the last part, any questions on the scheduling side? Sorry, Dan, before
are you going to show us what that looks like in your email?
It is actually just a PDF report, just like this, what I've got down here on this side. I haven't viewed one up at the moment.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. We get it. Comes as a PDF. This is fantastic. If you would go into, you wanted to show us a couple more things on analytics and data collection. So I'm going to comment after you finish this particular section.
So this section was that I was going to go into the lead. So let me know what your questions are before I do move on.
Really more a comment. So Matterport provides some analytics, but the analytics that's provided by Captured is way more than what is presently provided by Matterport. And I think also more importantly is that this ability to schedule the delivery of analytics is awesome. So even when Matterport introduced analytics, I never sent it to any of our clients because it was a manual process. And I was just absolutely afraid that a client would say, oh, I like this. Could you send me this every day? Now multiply that times the number of clients. So by automating the scheduling, the delivery of analytics, so what Captured is doing here with Matterport Analytics is fantastic, and it's a lot more robust and it's automated, and this is just these two features. Again, I think, Stephen and I, we've talked about, well, how do you describe Captured, because it does so much. So you could just talk about Captured as a platform for analytics and delivery of analytics, and you're done. But really, Captured is this content management system, this all-in-one platform, this end-to-end platform, this Swiss Army knife, this virtual assistant. And you've just showed us one feature. So I hope if somebody who's tuned in today and has just looked at analytics, go discover the rest of the week, because we've covered a lot of different of this Swiss Army knife, the fork, the spoon, the toothpick, the scissors, the saw, etc. There's just a lot of things that Captured does and does exceedingly well. So anyway, thank you for indulging me on that. I look at it and go, well, wow. Well, of course, this is how analytics should be handled.
Yeah, thank you. Definitely. And I guess just the last part to tie it all the way, I'm going to share my screen quickly again, is the lead generation tool. We will be working on this a little bit more as well. So on the virtual tours, and I might just quickly go back to one of them to show you the buttons quickly. On the virtual tour and on the one-page website, we give the opportunity for the user to request information or get in contact by either calling or emailing the provider who's created this content, just by putting some simple information in. But what we haven't shown is how this information is stored or how it could be used. So we have the content button here on the left-hand side, the analytics, which we're just going through, and then right next to that, we have the leads. So these are all the leads that have come through on that link, and we could click on them to see their details, so their phone number, their email, when they actually got in contact, and the query that they have. This is very valuable data, especially to the realtor. If you can say that the 3D tool is also generating leads for them on this property, not just showcasing something. It goes from a marketing tool to a lead generation tool, and that in itself is a huge step in the right direction for the realtors. And this information is easily stored right inside your Captured account on that property, just so you can access when and if you need it. And that's the lead generation. And you can, and you download that as a CSV and be able to share that really easily. So it's not about just having to pass this information one by one, just simply by downloading it, all the information stored in a CSV, and you can easily share it along. And that's the lead generation tool. Beautiful. So the last part, and before we go into the running through from start, oh, sorry, did you have something to say, Dan? I think you might have been on. No? We're going to go run through some of the pricing opportunities. Unless you had anything else, Dan?
Yeah, I think this is probably a good time. We'll do your speed test after we go through pricing.
Mm-hmm.
That'll work.
Log out.
I think there was just one other thing that we're going to talk about, custom domain.
Yes.
So Stephen, could you tell me about Captured custom domain and why someone might want that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll stop sharing, explain it, and then I might show some examples of that.
Okay. So let me just re-ask the question for you here. So earlier in the week, you showed us a domain that was something like virtualtour.mycompany.com.
Yep.
What is a custom domain, and why would someone want that via Captured?
Yeah, absolutely. So the standard domains that we provide on Captured, or the URL vanities, whatever you'd like to call them, it provides context to the company by putting the company name in the URL, but it's not technically being hosted on that company's domain name. So it actually is still coming through Captured. But a service that we do provide to all of our subscribed members on the small, medium, and large plans, and we'll go through that in a moment. We offer full domain rerouting. So what that means is all of the content, be it virtual tours, one-page websites, will just be from the company's URL. So let's say your company is Remax. I've been using that as an example all week. Rather than having remax.captured/virtual tour, it would just be remax.com/ /the virtual tour information. And it's actually being hosted on that domain. So what that actually means for SEO as well, it actually boosts the amount of SEO that you get on that domain page because you've got more referral links coming back. And a referral link is just more links that people are hitting on their site.
So if I, let's say even as a photographer, as a Matterport service provider, I want to retain that SEO for us, that it could be that if, let's say we do 100 Matterport virtual tours a year, each tour gets 500 views, that's 50,000 page views that's counting for the SEO of our Matterport service provider business to move us up in search. So when someone's looking for Matterport photographer Atlanta, that the likelihood of We Get Around Atlanta showing up as the first Matterport service provider listed is likely to be higher simply based on organic search, because we have what are we going to call that? It's using our domain.
Yeah, custom domain. Well, it's rerouting to your domain. Yep.
Rerouting to our domain, so that the tour would be wegetaroundatlanta.com/123 Main Street.
Correct. As
the property, rather than the default, which is presently virtual tours .wegetaroundatlanta.com/123 Main Street. So if I am using the Captured platform and I have a subscription, then I can request the domain, our domain, wegetaroundatlanta.com/123 Main Street, where I control the 123 Main Street, whatever I want to call that particular property.
That's correct.
And I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but as far as I understand, that is totally free to request that. And you can provide that in what time frame?
We get that turned around and set you up in less than a week.
Great. So as long as I have and we'll talk about this, captured small, medium, or large plan, then I can have that custom domain feature integrated within my captured account, so that I get the benefit, or We Get Around Atlanta gets the benefit of that SEO.
Absolutely correct.
Awesome. So I think that probably leads us into pricing. Do you want to maybe call up your pricing page and just walk us through what's it cost for captured services?
Absolutely. So whilst I'm just prepping this to share up, this is just the front face of our website. Because I'm in Australia and it knows that my IP is here, the price is going to be shown in Australian. If you
do you want me to call up my page? Would that be helpful?
Yeah, let's do it that way. Then we can show the US prices.
Okay. Just take me a second. I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. Okay. And so you can see, I just thought I'd actually start here on the We Get Around Network forum so that you all actually could come here. You'll always look for Captured right here. Click on Get Info. That's taking us right to the Captured screen. And do you want me to scroll down or go right to pricing?
You can just go straight through pricing.
Click on pricing. Okay, so now the pricing is being displayed in US dollars.
Fantastic. So we'll start on the left-hand side there. So the virtual tour overlay, if you can scroll down a little bit, fantastic. We've been talking about it this week around everything being a la carte, right? So everything that we've shown, you can just pay for that if you'd like it. So to begin with, the virtual tour overlay, which includes all of the information that you see there. So it's the overlay, the navigation menu on the left-hand side, map integration, the URL parameter options, the virtual tour URL vanity, the password protect feature, the additional branding, the measurement tool, the lead generation, and the heat map. all comes as part of that $6 US. And as a byproduct of purchasing that $6 for free, you open up the one-page website opportunity, the deliver and share, which we went through yesterday, the booking system, which we also went through yesterday, and the analytic reports that we went through today, all come completely free with that virtual tour overlay. On the right-hand side, you see the photo retouching. We need to do some rounding on this page, so it should just be $1, but it is showing $1.02. And this goes through what we're talking about on the services day on day 3 around object removal, background enhancement, perspective correction, and also color improvement and white balance. So we showed a few examples of where the sun blemishes may have affected the photos, or the correction of the Matterport camera might have been off. These are the perfect opportunities to get your photos retouched. If you could scroll down a little bit, Dan.
And I would add on photo retouching, Stephen, whether that's, as you shared with us earlier in the week, whether you're ordering one photo retouched or 5 or 50, it's still $1 US per photo. If you're getting a twilight, it's still $1 a photo.
That's correct.
There's no minimum. There's no credit system. It's just $1 a photo.
We've tried to make it as easy as possible, and hopefully that comes through with the pricing as well, that you pay for what you need. It's not, if you need this extra little thing, we're going to charge you extra. It's one price, that's it. So it's $1 per photo. And the same thing happens when we go to the floor plans and stuff.
Still not there. I want to stay on photo retouching still, because I still think this is totally amazing. So if you just want photo retouching and you have no interest in everything we've talked about this week, you're not interested in the virtual tour, you don't want floor plans, you just want photo retouching, you can upload your DSLR photos and have them retouched for $1 an image. And again, there's no minimum. So even this is kind of a hidden gem, that if all you want to use Captured for is photo retouching or just for twilights, it is just $1 an image for photo retouching. And you can get either your Matterport Pro 1, Matterport Pro 2 images, any of the snapshots that you pull out retouched, or your DSLR images, or both. So this just photo retouching is a total gem in upon itself. And then I just wanted to go back for a second on virtual tour overlay. Same thing. If you just want single property websites, one-page websites, as Stephen has been calling them, one-page websites, that's all you want, then it's $6 US, and you don't need to do any other services with Captured, and you don't need to be on a subscription plan. You can just order a single one-page website for $6. Floor plans and site plans.
Fantastic. So just like with the photos, it's one price, no matter what it is that you're after. If it's just a floor plan, if it's a floor plan and site plan, if it's a 3D floor plan, if it's got all the measurements on it, if it's got no measurements on it, if you just want one file type being a PDF, or if you want 5 file types being JPEGs, PDFs, DWGs, Revits, GIFs, PNGs, all of that. One price, $17 US, and all customizable as well. We can put your logo on one of our previous designs, or if you've got a design that you really like, we can replicate that design for you as well. And it's free to upload as many designs as you like into our platform, and we can only charge you $17 per order that you've put through.
So we've spent probably 15 minutes in one of our other shows just talking about 2D schematic floor plans, a 3D version of the floor plan, site plans. For $2 more than what Matterport is charging, you can have floor plan and a site plan. You can have it with your logo or with your client's logo. You can have it within your colors, your client's colors. There's 4 templates to choose from. If you want your own template, there's no charge for creating a standard template that's probably unique for each of your clients because they have their own logo, they have their own requirements for disclaimer text. And oh, by the way, I think the hidden gem here, Stephen, is that on your floor plans, you include either the total square feet or the total square meters, whichever we prefer. And so this really is a hidden gem because if you provide the square feet for the heated space on this floor plan, it makes it super easy for a Matterport service provider to actually charge their client. And that may in itself be worth paying $17 just so that you don't have to go through yet another longer process of trying to figure out how to charge when you're charging by the square foot. So I think that's totally amazing. And I would encourage anyone who's just watching the show and hasn't seen the show earlier in the week on 2D floor plans and site plans. The fact that you get the site plan in addition to the floor plans really is quite amazing. So,
sorry, and I was going to say the last key thing to mention there as well is the turnaround time, 12 to 24 hours. So these are getting turned around really quickly. So while you're at sleep at night, we're turning that around and providing it back to you as well.
And I think I would add, because you pointed this out the other day, is if you do want to have a custom template designed, which is free, the first time you do that, that could take up to 48 hours. But after it's already in the system, then it's 12 to 24 hours from the time that the Matterport space is available, has finished processing to get the 2D schematic floor plans and site plans.
Yeah, that's correct. So the first time you do upload a design, it does take our team a little bit extra time because what we have to do is set up the design file in the background. So making sure we've got the fonts, the colors, the design spec exactly right. And that takes a little bit more time. But once we've got that template saved against your client or your provider name, then each time a property comes through, it's a lot easier for us to create the floor plans in the design that you require.
Great. And post-production?
So we went through this on day 3 as well. So this is taking the hassle out of doing the My Matterport workshop post-production side of things. So we've got a number of different standard practices, but we can also create custom profiles to each individual provider or each individual client on how they would like their highlight reel or walkthrough to be created. We then take the necessary snapshots to be placed into either of those, the key areas within the property. We turn off any unnecessary sweeps. So if there was a sun blemish in the property and you had to do multiple scans in the same area, we'll turn off the unneeded ones. So you've got the cleanest path through the property, or let's say a pet got caught in a photo. We're going through each individual scan to make sure that each one of them is there for a purpose and coming through. So we're taking care of all of your back-end post-production needs, all for $10 US.
Yeah, that's crazy. To create the snapshots, to create the highlights reel, and to hide scans, it's just $10 US. And once again, if that's the only service that you want Captured to do, you don't need to be part of a subscription plan. You don't need to order anything else. You can just, for $10, have all this work done for you. So, you know, if you're making plans to go out for the night and you know you need to deliver it in the morning, this is a great example of where as you uploaded your tour at 6 or 7 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock at night. By the time you wake up in the morning, 12 hours later, I don't know, maybe all of us don't quite get 12 hours of sleep, but essentially when you wake up in the morning, the highlight reel is going to be ready for you. And if you order your photos, I want to say we didn't talk about timing on that, but that is
6 hours.
So your photos, your highlight reel, virtual tour, the one-page website is all going to be ready for you in the morning. And so when you start looking at the cost here, $6 US, $1 per photo retouched, floor plans, post-production, quite amazing. And then there's one more thing here that I don't see a price on. And I asked you about that. Why isn't there a price here? And it's because it's free. So that's the scheduling and booking.
Yeah, that's correct. So free with every virtual tour, you'll see under the virtual tour overlay, the booking system, the deliver and share, and the analytics, including the one-page website, completely free. Correct.
So if you just want to use Captured for booking, scheduling, confirmation among your photographer and your clients, that is totally free. So it's really quite amazing. I would say before we go off of this, before I scroll down to kind of monthly subscriptions, how about talking about the Captured special offer for getting started?
Absolutely. So anyone that signs up to the platform will get 5 free property packs to get them going. So a property pack includes everything that we just discussed there. So the virtual tour overlay, the post-production, the floor plans and site plans, the booking system, the delivery system, the analytics, everything that you saw there, bar the photo retouching, all packaged in and delivered, and you can set up your account as well at that point in time. And the reason why we're giving you 5 absolutely for free is because we believe once you start using the system and see the benefit that it can bring you and your customers, you're going to fall in love with it as much as we have. So that's why we've provided that. And we've also got a special offer with yourself, Dan, as well.
So, thank you, Stephen, for providing this special offer for We Get Around Network Forum members is an additional, a 6th free property pack with Captured. So if you're watching us on in one of our many places, including our YouTube channel, We Get Around Network Forum membership is totally free. We Get Around Network Forum.com, or in shorthand, WGAN Forum.com. Come join the We Get Around Network Forum. You'll automatically get an email from me, and which includes 50 plus membership benefits just for joining the free We Get Around Network Forum. One of those membership benefits in that email will be how to receive your 6th free property pack from Captured. So thank you for extending that benefit to us, Stephen. We appreciate it. Monthly plans.
Yeah, so this is an option that we've provided for our long-term customers. So once you kind of get up and running and you've got a pretty decent idea of the volume of content that you're creating per month, there is a lot of discounts that can be provided by jumping on one of these plans. So we do provide both sides, the a la carte, but also the subscription to save some costs as well. So if you were to purchase all of the items that we're talking about above on that a la carte side of things, it would work out, I'm trying to do it in US dollars here, so give me a quick moment, work out to be about $34 US, roughly, minus the...
You're adding, I actually came up with, I think, a different number. So let's see, 17 and 10 is 27, and 6 would be 33.
$33.
So $33, excluding the photo retouching. That's an optional extra.
Correct.
So we're not including the photo retouching. So $33. So if you're doing, I'll let you pick it up for if you're doing 10 a month.
Yeah, so if you're doing 10 a month and you know that's going to be a consistent coming through, we can provide you the small pack, which comes in at $271 US. So that is $27 per unit. So it's a saving of $6 per complete package that you're providing. And as you can see there, it's giving you the virtual tour overlay, the post-production, the floor plans and site plans, and all of the features that come within each of those modules as well. If you're doing an even higher volume at 30 units, the total cost being that $673, but it does bring it down to $22.44. So when we're talking about $33 for everything individually, or $22.44 for a 30 pack, it's almost a savings of $10 or more than $10 actually per property that you'd be saving on. And then going all the way up to the large pack. So if you're doing 50 or more properties per month, most likely with multiple cameras and a big bigger team, that price comes down all the way to $20.40 USD. So it's a saving of $13 per property on all of the features above. So when you're thinking about it, for $20 on that pack, you're getting your virtual tour overlay, your post-productions, your floor plans and site plans, all branded, all booked in and scheduled, the analytics automatically delivered, hassle-free, everything completed for that low price of $20.
And the only extra thing I can presently buy from Captured in addition to that is photo editing.
Correct.
Because everything else is included. So, and I think I'd just like to recap. So if you're committing to 10 a month, it's $27.16 each.
Mm-hmm.
If you're committing to 30 a month, it's $22.44. And if you're committing to 50 or a month, that it works out to $20.41. And if you do any incremental more that month, then that's also the individual price for those additional Matterport property packs.
That's correct.
And am I committing on an annual basis, or this is month to month?
Month to month. So there's no lock-in 12-month contracts or anything like that. It's you pay for this as you need it. Obviously, especially with photography and property and sales and real estate, it's a cyclical cycle throughout the year where it gets busier at some points than others. So if you know a busy time's coming up, you can jump onto a small or medium pack to get yourself through that period and save a bit of money, and then come back down to the small pack when it quietens down. So it's always movable month to month. There's no lock-in contracts.
And Captured has been kind enough to extend to We Get Around Network standard and premium members 10% off each of these packs. So if you're doing 50 or more a month, then that's literally going to bring your cost per Captured property pack to less than $20. So again, that offer is from Captured for We Get Around Network standard and premium members. You can check out membership in those plans on the We Get Around Network forum. I guess I would add here that if you're ordering everything for that property pack a la carte, it's $33 US. And it can be as low as less than $20. So depending on your volume, and maybe if you could take us off screen share there, Stephen.
So you sharing for this one, Dan?
Then maybe I should take us off screen share, Stephen. Let me see. Thank you. Before you go into, well, do you need to exercise or do anything before your time challenge that's coming up?
I'll do some stretches in the background as we discuss.
So I thought what we do here is, I guess when you take 5 days to talk about Captured, you could have the impression that it really takes a long time to use the Captured content management system because we've spent the whole week talking about it. But Stephen has assured me that it's super easy and super fast. And when you're in the groove and you're ordering your Matterport virtual tours presented through the Captured platform, it's easy peasy and relatively quick. So I got my stopwatch here and I'm ready. So do you need to break your knuckles? Do you need to stretch or?
Not at all. So just before we do jump in, a little bit of context behind this. We're going to be assuming that the post-production for the property had already been completed. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and do post-production for you guys. And the second part is when I'm putting in the floor plan, I'll just let you know that I'm ordering the floor plan, but it's going to take up to 12 to 24 hours. But I'll be bringing that in just so we can seamlessly see how quickly the one-page website and virtual tour overlay all comes together.
I think I want to just add to that. So I believe we're going to do 4 things. We're going to order a property pack. So that's one. So we're going to watch how long that takes. We're obviously not going to sit here while Capture does all the stuff that we do while we're sleeping. So then the next step of what we're going to do is deliver all our digital assets to the client.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to schedule our analytics to be delivered.
Correct.
3 steps.
3 steps.
Am I timing you in running time for all that together or for each phase?
I'm easy. We can do split times. So
I don't know how to use my iPhone to do splits. You'll have
we'll
to explain that to me on another show. So I tell you what, I'm gonna time each of the segments, and then I'll add it. I'll try to add it up. I'll have to ask Siri to do the math for me here, I guess.
Beautiful.
Okay, tell me when to start.
All right, I'm going to share the screen. Whenever you're ready, Dan, let me know.
In 3, 2, what are we doing first?
So we are going to order some content, a whole property pack. We're going to deliver that content to the customer, and then we are going to schedule the analytics.
In 3, 2, 1.
So as always, we're clicking on the new button, going into a booking. So I'm actually going to go through the longer process here just to even show you how easy it is to do it. So I'm putting in the address into the first box here, and you're going to be very used to seeing the address that we've been using all week here. That's all come through at the right time.
Wait, could I stop you? I have you on, like I'm cooking a roast for an hour here. I got to be on stopwatch. Do you mind? That was just practice. That was practice for the timer. Do you mind if we start over?
Not at all, Dan.
Okay.
Actually.
And no cheating. You can't go ahead on any of this. We're going to start clean. You want to just cancel it?
I'll start from the dashboard.
All right. Fire me for being a timer here. So let me ask you this, Stephen, is how about introducing what step you're going to do with Captured, and then tell me when to hit start.
Okay, so we're about to get started. I'm going to hit the new button to start the booking. So Dan, on 3, 2, 1, and go. And we're going to create a booking. So this is the longer form side of things. So we're going to be pretending that the booking is coming in the future, placing in the address. It auto-fills the information. That's for the site plan, the floor plan, also the map integration. We're going to select the client. We're going to assume that we've already created one for this one here. We can create one as well. We can do another timer on that. Same thing with the client. Just pick one of the many clients that we have in this system here. Thank you, Trent. And the technician. So who's responsible for actually going out there and scanning it? So it will be me for that today. We'll turn the post-production off in this instance, but we could have it on if we wanted it to do it, but so I can bring it in, and we're going to confirm. Great work. Thank you very much. So now we're on the property page. We need to bring in.
Wait. I stopped the time. Was that the appropriate time to stop?
That's how long it takes to create a booking. Yes.
It was 45, almost 46 seconds to create a booking.
I'm on fire.
Okay. Can we create a booking for a new client? Because you assume that the client already existed on that booking. So we're going to assume that this is literally, so that's pretty cool. If you're in the groove and you're doing a booking for a client that you already have done work for, 46 seconds, under a minute. And now we're going to assume that this is the first time client. Looks like you're doing a little prep just to get ready, but I'm going to hit. Oh, it says lap 1. So I could do splints. Oh, this is way too complex. Let me hit.
Oh, good.
I have to hit clear. Okay. So this was for, I'm writing it down for an existing client. And now we're going to do a new client booking.
And I'm going to make it a little bit more complicated as well. We're going to pretend that it's going to be a new client and also a new contact. So the new process for each one of those items in that space there. All right, so when I click the new button, Dan, we'll go at the same time, 3, 2, 1, and go. Going into the booking section, placing in the address always a good place to start. Automatically fills it in. We're going to select a different time just so there's no overlap, 11 o'clock tonight. So new client, really quite simple. So we're going to go Remax, we get a round example, upload the logo, which I've got sitting on the desktop. So I did prepare this one for the other session earlier in the week. This is going to pull it in. I'm going to pick the branding bar, correct. I'll also select the floor plan style that I'd like to use, Imperial, for this one. And the reason why I was bringing this up before is because I could bring in their website as well into the bottom part, create that client. Awesome, already done. I'm going to create a new contact for this one here. This person's going to be called John Doe, and he is the director of the company. And I'm going to associate him to that Remax that we just created. And apologies, we've got a lot of customers in here. So you can see that I can associate that client with that contact, and their email is john.doe@Remax. I really hope there isn't a John Doe at Remax, otherwise they're going to start receiving my emails. And then also a phone number in here as well. Perfect. And we can add additional notes if we require. Also, we got to upload their photo so it comes through on their branding. Again, I did set this up the other day for one of our other shows. It's a nice looking picture of John Doe. So now we've created the client, we've created the customer. I'm going to select my best technician to do their work, which is obviously myself. And just like that, we've got the booking sorted.
So I'm a horrible timer. I started the timing about halfway through at about 45 seconds. I'll call it for less than 2 minutes. I'll have to go back to the tape. We'll have to go back to the tape and check the time code to know. But I would say it was probably under, let's call it under 2 minutes to set up a new booking.
Perfect.
And I probably cheated you. It was probably 1.5 minutes. So, but we'll call it under 2 minutes. It's super fast. I think that's the point we were going to make here. Okay, I'll try and be good. Tell me what's the next. Tell me when you're ready. What the next step is, and if you could just introduce the next step.
Yeah, definitely. So what I'm doing here in the background is actually just bringing in the Matterport content. So if you had ordered post-production or whatever it may be, this would all be happening in the background, right? So I'm just going through and putting this all together. So this is while you're sleeping at night, most likely. And if you had ordered a floor plan, the floor plan would be getting processed as well.
Am I supposed to hit start?
No, I'm just bringing in the content. So we're pretending here that the content.
We're pretending that it's all ready. So I'm still sleeping. You're working in the background, or Capture's working in the background. So we're going to have something that's going to be ready for delivery here.
That is correct. Let that just upload for a moment. It's bringing in a file type. There we go. So there that is. And the last part, obviously, is just putting in the property information. But I guess that could be part of our timing, because we'd need to input the information in for the one-page website. So I'll leave it at that. So what we're going to do here for this timing part, I've just woken up in the morning. All of my content is back on the platform. So it's branded, the floor plan's completed. And what I'm going to be doing is putting the last pieces of information to put together the one-page website. So things like bathrooms, bedrooms, and then we're going to share this to our John Doe at Remax that we just created. So whenever you're ready, Dan, I can get started. 3, 2, 1. So I've come in. Here's all my information, my 3D tour, my floor plan, all submitted. I'm going to put in some last pieces of information here. So let's remember to click on John Doe. He was our agent for this property. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 car space, $1 million. It's amazing how expensive property is getting these days. It is a real estate property. And it was a house, and it was 2,600 or so square feet. We'll do it in. And the property description, this is a beautiful property. This will come through, and obviously if you take your time to write proper specs for your property, it comes through quite nice. I'm obviously taking this quite quickly.
We'll assume that the agent had provided the copy block and you copied and pasted that into that block.
Correct. So I've just made the one-page website public. So now we can see the virtual tour, the floor plan, the one-page website, and the photos are coming through as well. And it's just simple as clicking share. We're going to send this to our John Doe at remax.com. Edit my message. Thank you for working with Captured. Oh, if I could spell it, also be good. Timing here is actually just me not being able to spell, not how long it takes to produce this stuff. And as you can see, the quick preview here, we've got the 3D tour, we've got the floor plan, and we've got the website copy all ready to go, and deliver away it goes. And as we were discussing before, the next step, I don't know if you want to pause it there,
Is that
Dan?
done? I should hit stop. So I hit stop. 1:49. So under 2 minutes to deliver a one-page website to the client that included the Matterport virtual tour, the photos, the floor plan and site plan. The highlight reel has been done. The snapshots have been done. The property description has been added. You didn't put a video in, but if we gave you another 10 seconds on that, I think you would have taken the YouTube link or Vimeo link and added that. All delivered within the one-page website.
That's correct.
Less than 2 minutes.
Less than 2 minutes.
Okay.
And what I could potentially actually do, because we did rush through it. So this is the property we've been working on. As soon as we brought it through, it's really important to show that the branding is right there straight away. The map information, John Doe, the face that we're looking at that we brought in right there. We can call him straight off this or email him as well. The map information, it's right there on top of it. The measurement tool and all the other branding features that we have available are automatically available as soon as you click that go button. And likewise with the one-page website, we've got the floor plans, the satellite images, and the 3D tour, again with John Doe sitting there. So this is all automatically branded and created. And if I do click on this, this is the reason why I brought in the URLs. It's all coming through nice and quickly as well. So it's all there and available. So the last part that we're going to show you, Dan, was the scheduling of the analytics.
Oh, I have to hit stop. Okay. Reset. Okay.
When you're ready, 3, 2, 1.
If you could just reintroduce what it is that you're about to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So what we're going to be doing here is we've just sent the delivery email to the customer. We now have the opportunity to automatically schedule analytic reports to them. My preference is to send them every 2 weeks just to keep them up to date. So I'm going to set those parameters as we go through the every 2 weeks for the next 6 months. This individual, John Doe, will be receiving the analytics reports. So when you're ready, Dan, 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'm creating an analytic report. I'm going to put in our recipient, john.doe at remax.com. I want this to repeat twice every month. So that's once every 2 weeks on the first day of the month. And then I also want this to stop on the 6 months from now. What are we looking at? January, February the 15th, and save. And just like that, we're done.
38 seconds. So in less than a minute to schedule analytics. So if we can recap, setting up an existing client, certainly less than a minute, setting up a new client. In fact, let me see if I can just summarize this again. So using the Captured content management system, this end-to-end platform for Matterport service providers, what you just demonstrated is that you can set up a new client in less than 2 minutes. You can set up an existing client in less than 1 minute to place your order. Then when you wake up in the morning, anywhere on the planet, and the content is now ready from Captured, including creating the snapshots, the highlights reel, hiding scans,
And the floor plan and site plan?
Thank you. Creating the 2D schematic floor plans and site plans. So those are things that are all done while I'm sleeping. Now, I'm now awake in the morning to send all the digital. And if I had placed an order for photo imaging editing, photo retouching, I needed 35 photos retouched. Those would be ready as well. And to deliver all the digital assets less than 2 minutes. Scheduling all the analytics reports that go to the client less than a minute. I feel like I need some kind of, horn or something to punctuate how easy, fast, and simple. And once you're in the groove, creating all these solutions for the client is super easy. And gosh, I know when I started with my Matterport camera in July of 2014, there wasn't anything like this whatsoever. And I recall reading in the WGAN Network Forum, and I think there's probably people who still do it today. They're creating a web page from scratch. So there's literally spending hours doing all this stuff. In fact, Stephen, I mentioned this earlier in the week. I had asked a number of Matterport service providers, I think 6 or 7 or so, if they could do a screen capture and record them creating, doing all the post-production that they do on a Matterport space, so that those that are new to using Matterport Workshop 3.0 to create the snapshots, create the highlights reel, hide scans, and get it ready to deliver to the client. And incidentally, all of those are available in the WGAN-TV Training Academy. All of those 6 or 7 videos, certainly I would say everyone takes at least a half hour, if not more. I think some of the videos go an hour and a half of Matterport service providers being pretty meticulous about which snapshots they want, creating the highlight reel, getting it the way they want it, hiding scans. And so anyway, I think what you've showed is that I think a lot of us as professional photographers, we take a lot of pride in what we do, and we want to deliver the best work possible. And yet, if we're doing 2 or 3 3D tours a day, we may have no life because we're now taking an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours to complete 1, 2, or 3 tours into the evening. So in fact, what happens is the more you become successful with Matterport, the exponentially how busy you are. Mm-hmm. So, and frankly, when you're outsourcing something like the highlights reel, for somebody who's doing that all day long and that's what they're doing, they're in the groove. It's likely they're doing it at least as good, if not better, because that's all they're doing for a living. Similarly, for photo retouching, site plans, floor plans, I don't think most of us would have a clue about how to design and create those. But again, to be able to just, press a button, order it, have it ready, is really super. So anyway, I'm a little bit all over the place, but I think it's because of my excitement for Captured. And I think to really to summarize what my feelings are about Captured, having used the platform, having watched you take us through everything, is Captured is an essential tool for every Matterport service provider. You absolutely must be using Captured. And I would say that probably for 3 reasons. One is if you want to be able to save time so that you can develop new business, you need to outsource. If you want to do more scanning, you need to outsource. And if you want to spend more time with your friends and family or more time sleeping, you need to outsource. And so Captured, and again, I struggle with the words to call it, whether Captured is a content management system or a virtual assistant or an end-to-end platform. I think regardless of what we call it, I think the point is that Captured is this amazing platform. And if you only use it for one thing, so if you only use it for booking and scheduling, totally free. If you only use it for floor plans and site plans, $17 at most. Easy peasy and a terrific add-on that's a high profit item. If you only use it for photo editing, if you only use Captured for photo editing of snapshots or photo editing of DSLR images, $1 a pop in the US. That's amazing. If you are only using Captured to create a highlights reel and to create snapshots and to hide scans, at most $10 a tour. So no matter where you get started with Captured, I would say to our We Get Around Network community, WGAN-TV viewers, that you got to start using Captured today as part of your workflow. In particular, so if you're totally new to Matterport, this is saving you all the time of actually trying to master Workshop 3.0, Matterport Workshop 3.0. So this is like a gift to you to get started with the best practices today, so that you could really scale your business and have all this taking place in the background. As a successful Matterport service provider, this is really probably the only way that you're going to be able to get to the next level, because the busier you are, the harder it is to get all this stuff done. So time to change your workflow and start incorporating Captured. And if you're not ready to do everything on day one, then take a piece of it at a time. Start with ordering floor plans, start with ordering highlight reel and snapshots, start with ordering photo retouching, start with booking and scheduling, start with just analytics. You know, for $6, you can get that analytics delivered. So wherever you start, the point is get started. Stephen, I think you and your team have done an amazing job creating the platform. You're exactly the right company to have started Captured, because as we learned from the history of Captured, you had a very large order early on, and the only way that you could logistically get that order delivered in the time frame with the consistency of delivery was essentially to create what we know as Captured today. So to me, I think that's just awesome that you solved the problem for yourself and realized that your content management system actually was a really big opportunity for the rest of the Matterport community worldwide. And then you made it totally super easy with no friction to get started. So it's totally free to use the booking and scheduling, totally free. So how awesome is that? And then if you just want to do one or the other, if you just want the floor plans and site plans, you just want the photo editing, you just want the highlights reel, the post-production, each is available a la carte, affordably priced, and there's no monthly commitment. You can just order soup or nuts or soup to nuts on an a la carte basis. And then as you kind of ramp up to get on the highway where you have the confidence that you're doing 10 or more Matterport 3D tours a month through Captured, then there's a logical price break. And so, you know, how wonderful is that? And then as you really, you know, get cranking, there are other plans for you. And if you're running a seasonal Matterport business where it's really busy just before back to school, as people are playing musical chairs to get the house that they need in order to be in the right school district or whatever other reason they're moving, that the pricing is month to month. And you can go from medium to small, you can go from small to medium and adjust as necessary, or even pull back. You go, you're going to go on vacation for the summer, and you stop your monthly plan. So I'm really excited for the We Get Around Network Forum community that there is this captured platform. The company is based in Melbourne, Australia, parent company Foria. It may not have been on the radar of We Get Around Network Forum members, perhaps until this week. Well, we've been talking about it all week. So to call your attention to this amazing platform. Stephen, what have I left out in terms of superlatives of talking about your baby?
I think you've done a really good job, and I couldn't have said it better myself. So I really appreciate you with providing us all with that summary. The only thing I'd add is that our customer support team is available around the clock. So 24 hours a day, no matter what time zone you're in, there's always someone there to support you with your captured needs and even your Matterport business needs as well. Everyone that works with us and on this platform have all been MSPs in their previous lifetimes and have come onto this platform because they've seen the benefit that it's provided them. So we've all got knowledge in how to run Matterport businesses and what we're actually out there to get for. So we're there to support you in all your business needs, from a 1-person team to a 20-person team. We're here to help.
Terrific. We covered a lot of ground over the last 5 days. Could you give us a summary that if we said, okay, I'm in, but could you tell me what did you cover each day so I know which episode I want to go watch?
Yeah, definitely. It's been an amazing week, and we have covered some amazing topics all the way through Captured. I feel like we've been very, very thorough indeed. On day one, we started with the end user output. So what the realtor or what the potential buyer is going to be viewing. So that's the virtual tour overlay and the one-page websites that includes all the different assets with photo retouching and also the floor plans in itself. On day two, we went into how to create the virtual tour overlays and the one-page websites, and the multitude of variations on both of those, the different features, the password protections, the measurement tools, the different templates, the video integrations, everything around how to brand and position your content to be best online. On day three, we looked at more of the services side of the business. So that included the post-production, so highlight reel creation, photos, and also turning off unnecessary sweeps, floor plan creation and template design. So how to upload any design that you want or add your logo to any template and create those floor plans and site plans all in one. And the last part on that day was also looking at the photo retouching. Simply at the click of a button for $1, get your photos retouched no matter what you need. Day four, which was our booking, scheduling, and delivering. One of my favorite parts of the system, and the reason why we built Captured in the first place, to help scheduling and manage that process. So how to create a booking for something coming up, the notifications that get sent to make sure that you're not a cleaner when you first get to a house, that you're just there to scan. And then also ease of delivery, which we showed today, and scheduling of the analytics as well. And then today, going into a deep dive on analytics. So once everything's been sent, polished, and moved on, how we can actually utilize the data that's being now captured online, where it's being hit from, the content information, and one of our favorite SDK features so far, the heat map analytics, and how that can be scheduled in, what was it, under a minute or close to a minute for the next 6 months moving forward. So that was our week this week. It's been amazing, and I couldn't thank you enough for having us on the show today on this week, Dan. It's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you very much.
Stephen, thank you for being on the show today. I think you've been very gracious with your time to each day meticulously go through every aspect of Captured. I think most companies tend to put together maybe some videos, and it's 3 minutes, it's 5 minutes, tells the story. I kind of feel that for somebody who's really interested in the topic and they've just discovered Captured for the first time, they're maybe a little bit long to sit through our 5 episodes, but next to Game of Thrones or watching, a week of theme week of Captured, I think the answer for our community is you're going to want to get Captured content management system training. You're going to want to get it from the co-founder, chief operating officer, and get a very detailed level. So I appreciate you taking the time for the We Get Around Network Forum community to actually take the time to do this, plus all the time it took you and your team to prepare for this week. So thank you very much.
Not a problem at all. It's been an absolute pleasure, Dan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. So we've been visiting all week with Stephen Kunis, co-founder and chief operating officer of Foria, the parent company of Captured, based in Melbourne. I'm Dan Smigrod, founder of the We Get Around Network Forum. I'll just add that we've recorded all the shows. They're available in the We Get Around Network Forum. They're all tagged Captured, CAPTUR3D, number 3D. And this show we'll post to the We Get Around Network Forum by tomorrow, Saturday, August 17th, 2019. So Stephen, thanks again. And thank you all for tuning in to WGAN-TV live at 5.